high school boys afflicted with spring fever skipped morning classes. After lunch, they reported to the teacher that they had had a flat tire, and that's why they did not get there on time. Much to their relief, she smiled and said, "Well, you missed a test today, so take seats apart from one another and take out a piece of paper." Still smiling, she waited for them to sit down. Then she said, "First question, which tire was flat?" That's a thinker.
Yeah. Hello, this is Don.
And this is Gina with Focused Healthy Family, and it's time for another Tuesday tip.
And today we're talking about in our Tuesday tip about consciousness. And just a quick definition, it's a state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. And in my practice with EFT, working with patients in the Naturopathic Center or with my own clients, I talk a lot about consciousness. I tend to refine the definition because I find a lot of people find the word consciousness rather fluffy and hard to really know what the meaning is. I bring it down to the idea of awareness, or even better, to tuning into oneself. In the naturopathic practice, I find that people come into the practice having tuned into their body to know something's not going the way they would like it, or they just feel sick. My job is to have them tune into their minds too. As I tell them, the mind is controlling the body, so getting the mind flowing in a better way enhances any healing of the body. That is one of the reasons that consciousness is so important.
Did you read the definition that you have on there? I can't.
The state of being awake or aware of one's surroundings. It also has the awareness or perception of something by a person.
And so you can look at that on a basic physiological level. If someone is sleeping, they're technically not conscious versus someone who's awake. So there's that base level of consciousness, just being awake and alert.
Aware, I guess.
When I go in to work with a patient, maybe someone who's got significant dementia or they're sleepy, I can't get them aroused. I can't get them alerted enough to look at me, to follow directions. And then there's the deeper level of consciousness where we are aware of what we're saying and what we're doing and how we're doing it, kind of an internal awareness of things around us, our environment, and how we're affecting other people. We can make decisions quickly and rashly, and that's what happens when we react to our children. They drop something, they break something, they write on the wall, and we say, "What are you doing? Why did you do that?" Are we saying that consciously? Are we just spitting out a reaction?
Yeah.
We're not stopping to think about what we're doing and how it affects other people.
Well, I kind of take it to another level, and I think I've talked about this on it before, but because I'm working with people that are dealing with anxiety and stresses and blocks or even traumas for that matter, a lot of times that they've gained from childhood or something like that. And so I call it arm length awareness. It's because what we tend to do with things, like even in the reaction, like you talked about, when you yell at the kids or whatever, we catch it, but it's after the fact that we become aware of it, I guess you'd call it. So I talk about arm length awareness, where we're catching it way out here. And one of the problems with that is we tend to do one of two things: beat ourselves up about it. "Oh, I shouldn't have yelled at the kids. I can't. So I'm such a bad person." We'll spit out all that kind of stuff, or we distract ourselves from it. "Oh, they'll get over it. They're okay. It wasn't so bad." And that's basically pushing a balloon underwater.
And as an example of
coming back,
where you catch it, you snap at your kid in the morning, they go off to school, they come home grumpy, nobody's talking to each other at dinner, bedtime goes difficult, and then you think back on it and go, huh.
Yeah, what I said in the morning starts this all out.
It's even longer than that. It's kind of realizing it after the fact, versus when they come home from school and saying, I realized I got angry at you this morning for something silly, and I'd like to apologize for that. And can we have a fresh start? And maybe it makes a difference, who knows? But trying to notice it sooner and sooner to the point where you're like, I love when you get to that point where you're like in the middle of, oh, okay.
And you stop yourself.
Yeah. And you stop yourself. And there's something powerful in that. And it can't be a faked thing. Like the real honest,
authentic,
catching yourself reacting, even reacting a little and stopping. That is such a learning tool. That is such an experience for everyone around you to see, oh, mom reacted, mom got angry, and then mom took a break and mom said, I'm sorry. I mean, what a learning tool, right?
Well,
because
that's when you pull that arm in and you're catching it sooner and sooner until it's not necessarily coming out, but you keep going until it changes completely,
and how you respond, like, okay, I'm gonna walk out in the garage and I'm gonna scream into or bang on something outside that they don't know what's going on, and then I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to come back and look at it in a new way. So it's not that you don't release those feelings and frustrations.
Well, and it kind of what you were saying kind of goes to the part that I talk about is that when they catch it, I like to work on changing that, not beating yourself up and not distracting from it, but accepting the message so that you can change it. Realizing that it is a negative message, that it wasn't the best thing, but that it happened, so that you can start changing that message.
And I know for some parents, they feel like they're going to be seen as weak and not in the place of authority if they apologize to their children. And I can picture parents say, you're sorry. I just feel that's such a disconnecting, I can't think of the word, but just such a
disenfranchising or something like that.
Way of helping someone to learn to own up to their action and to make amends, because that's a forced situation and there's no real remorse or regret. It's just, oh, mom's mad at me, so I got, say I'm sorry, or I'm not gonna be able to get through this. And yet, is that parent able to do that? Are they able to admit when they've done something wrong? Are they able to say, I'm sorry?
Yeah, there's a whole tangent here because it's talking about what we gain as a definition of strong and weak as a lot of times as a kid, that strong is not showing that many emotions. Maybe anger you can show because it looks strong. Kind of, I'm angry. It kind of looks strong.
And this is where things can be different gender-wise.
Yeah.
I don't remember growing up feeling like it was okay to get angry.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I hadn't thought about it on that side of it, but what I tried to work with people on is you really have to me, real strength is being able to handle all your emotions, being able to show them appropriately and handle them, appropriately, but letting them happen. When you're angry, you let it out that you're angry, punch a pillow or whatever, that's an appropriate way of handling it. When you're sad, you cry. And, so that to me is what, so we kind of went off, a little bit here, but that's to me is what strength is.
Yeah.
And your example for a parent, that's exactly what it is, an example for them on how to handle things.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches them how to handle their own anger.
And you don't say, see what mom did.
Yeah.
Even if they're really little,
No,
they're going to emulate us. They're going to copy us, especially when they're little. Beyond the aspect of owning our feelings, it's also important to own up when we don't know things. I really like a doctor who can admit, I'm not sure. I need to research that. I don't know. Or, they can even say they were wrong. To me, there is such power and in that, being able to do that and not thinking everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, even when I go out and speak and, I have questions afterwards, they'll sometimes ask me questions about, something with even the EFT world or whatever. that I don't know, and I'll say, you know, hey, I don't know. And I'll even get their email and say, look, I'll see if I can find out for you and let you know. So yeah, that to me is strength. That's being a strong person, because the person that knows everything,
Doesn't really know anything.
no, that's true, you know. So anyway,
So being aware, being conscious, waking up and smelling the roses and stopping and really noticing what we're doing and how we're doing it. And sometimes journaling can be a great way to kind of bumble through that process and to kind of spill stuff out, or maybe you tend to react quickly, you just carry around a notebook with you, or you can voice record into your phone. You can walk in the bathroom, turn the fan on and yell into your phone what you would say, and then, okay, I can get that out of my system. Now I can breathe.
well, I recommend to people doing, I call it my morning check-in, where I do some breathing and a little tapping, but I tune into myself and I just say, okay, how am I feeling both physically and emotionally? And I don't know, it kind of helps me. I think the more you can tune into, especially how you feel that day, you can kind of start digging in and learn more about yourself.
And if you set your day up in that way before you're hit with other people and other problems, then it's training your brain to like tune in. And so that when you're getting angry, you have that practice of tuning in to what's going on, because it's so easy to just run from this thing to that thing and be doing, and to not really stop and think about.
Makes a more productive day. That's our Tuesday tip for today. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we hope that you will pass it along to somebody that you feel may get some benefit from it, a parent or a loved one.
You can sign up to receive Tuesday tips by email, and remember to tune in either here or to YouTube to watch our full Thursday podcasts that deal all things not only parenting children, but parenting our parents, our aging loved ones, and ourselves.
And we also have a new feature, the Ask the OT, that we want to invite you to tune into too. You can check it out on our website, focushealthyfamily.com. You can see a little information there and see what that's all about, because it's a really neat program we started with Gina, who's our occupational therapist. And
remember, how you speak to your children today shapes their future and yours.